So, hello. Today I will presentation my work of Fundamentals of Conformação Mecânica. I decided to a presentation in English. On last class, professor said that I could the presentation in English, so I decided to accept the challenge. My name is Arthur, and I want to see that the slide that I will presentation in a few seconds. I utilize a tool that producing pictures with artificial intelligence. So if you see some mistakes or some errors on pictures, don't take it in consideration because it don't have any scientific function. It's only to make the slides more beautiful, okay? So I will start to present my presentation now. I will close my camera and put slides on Meet. Okay, I think you could see. So let me start. The title is Effect of Fold Forging, Technique for Swords Making Process on Mechanical Properties of Metal Carbon Steel. Okay? So the introduction started talking with a few of the function of swords all around the world, and he said that it's a very, very old tool that the human utilize it. Uh, the primary materials that sword was made like bones and stones, and after that the materials utilized it's steel, copper, tin, and lead. For the Thailand people, the the sword don't have only the function to fight, but you have some function like the talisman too. The Nampi steel was discovered in Thailand. Mm, So he utilized this steel to producing swords with this material. Around the world, we have some kinds of steels, different kind of steels like Tatar steels, Tamaracana steels, and Damascus steels. With different kind of steels, you have some different kinds of ways to producing different swords, like different techniques to producing our sword. Like Japanese samurai, the Eastern Damascus and Welded Damascus technique. So in this article, he tried to use a Japanese samurai technique to produce some swords. The objective with this article is to investigate the mechanical properties of the Nampi steels and applying the samurai word making technique, including the fold forging process and the steel grade mixing. The fold forging process I'll explain in a few seconds. So the steel grade mixing, it's you take two or more steels and mix it to produce another that you have some different mechanical properties. This article utilizing three different steels that is an UMP, the steel grade ASIS 1055 and the ASIS 1010. So the NUMP still have a large fluctuation for different areas because on the Smiths on the old civilizations don't have a standards to create a steel with a patronizing and normalizing structure. So you have some different NUMP steels like for different areas. Okay. So for this steel, it's a common that is a structure with inhomogeneous and a low carbon steel. In this picture here, we have the percent of the elements of the NumPy steel that this article utilized. So this fold forging process, the authors utilizing on this article. The specimen have this mentioned here, the 60 per 350 and 5 millimeters. The specimen is a plate, and he heated up the specimens to 1,100 Celsius degrees. The authors had for 10 minutes in a charcoal furnace to decarbonize the structure and forged by a hammer. Okay, The specimen is divided in two pieces, and they take one this and put on top of the other, then forge it again to become a single piece. So the three last process that I said, they repeat 6 times. They repeat 6 times this process, these three processes here. It's necessary to producing a summarized word. But the author said that to producing the real technique, you need to repeat it like 10 to 15 times. But the author utilize only 6 because 6 it's a number that you can see the increase of the material properties. The article realizes 4 forging conditions, okay? This for here. The NUMP is still without full forging and with full forging. Only the steel 1055 with the process full forging, and the mixing 1055 steel and the 1010 steel with the process full forging process. The mixed steel, we have a low steel grade inner the layers, and the high carbon steel outer the layers. Okay, so for the quenched process, he heated up the material to 900 Celsius degrees and held for 5 minutes, and after this he quenched in water. Okay, this table here we can see the 4 conditions here, and for this 4 condition he applies the quench process. In this picture here we can see more cleaner the process. The material was heated up to 1100 Celsius degrees per 10 minutes. Apply the fold forging conditions. Refresh the material in air cooling. And after this, he heated up to 900 Celsius degrees by 5 minutes and producing the water quenching. Okay. So the metallographic tests were taken from the middle of the samples, and the Vickers hardness measurement was performed for all specimens. For the mixture analyzing, he polished the specimens, and after this he heated up to 150 Celsius degrees per 10 minutes. After this, he polished with sandpaper numbers. All these numbers here, okay? The fine polished, he utilized a 1 micro aluminum powder, and the specimens were weighted with a 2% nitrile solution for 5 seconds. So with this processor here, he finished the samples, and he utilizing an optical microscope to see the micro structure. The tensile test is according with this standard here, is GN 10002. This is the speed that he utilized on the test. And the last 5, they are utilized 5 repeated sample for this test. This test, it's the object to such a strength and elongation for all the specimens. This picture here, it's the geometry of the samples. The 3-point bending test, the authors utilizing ESTM D790 with the standard. The cross of speed is this one here. For all the specimens were pressed by a punch until fracture occurred. So the test finished when the specimens break up. And the tests were done for the samples for our forging condition in over the evaluated bending and flexion strength. So obtain the bending and flexion strength is the objective of this test. This picture here represents the geometry of the samples. The impact test is occurring according to this standard here, ESTM E23. The impact tests were performed by sample for all forging conditions, so it will be the same condition for all samples. The objective is to determine and compare it to obtain this test. The objective of this test is to obtain the steel condition for impact loading and obtain the accreted energy absorbed by the material. This picture here represents the geometry of the samples. Show the mixture. This mixture here. Now we started talking about the results of the article. This picture here represents the NUMPy steel without fold forging process. The picture A is the forged, and the picture B is a process with quenched process. So the mixture here consisted of ferrite paste observed along the grain boundaries, and perlite paste appears as a typically lamellar structure. So this one here we have martensit, but this one here we have ferrite and the perlite. Okay. For the NUMPy steel exhibit, we have around 26% and 70% ferrite and perlite paste fraction. This space our explanation in a few seconds, in a few slides again. So in this picture here, we have the NUMPy steel without with the fold forging process. This one here is only forged, and here we have a quenched process. For this process here, the fold forging process applied to the NUMPy steel are decarbonizing. So because of the reason this almost the sample here have less perlite to this one here. Okay. The fold forging could simply lead to much finer microstructure and like more homogeneous carbon distribution. So if we compare this one here to this one here is more homogeneous to the other because the fold forging process. This picture here, it's the mixed to 1055 steel and 1010 steel. This one here is only forged, and this one here is quenched. Okay. The mixture was taken from the middle, as for the middle of the area of the high carbon steel. The mixture contains a high amount of perlite and small fraction of ferrite. Maybe because the steel, the high carbon steel, we have more carbon, so we have more perlite in consequence. So the mixture contains a high amount of perlite and small fraction of ferrite along the grain boundaries, like I talked before. The steel grade 1055 was higher than the NUMPy steel higher amount of NUMPy. He said that this steel here have more percent of carbon to the NUMPy steel. This result here is the mixed steel too, but he take this picture here from the between the high low carbon here and the low carbon here. So it's the transition area. Okay. This picture A is only forged, and this picture here is quenched. Okay. So for the low carbon steel, we have 21% ferrite, 51% of ferrite, and 49% of perlite paste. This picture here, it's similar to this picture with high carbon steel here, and this one here. It's very similar to the last one, here, because it's very next, because here is a mixed with this side here is ASIS 1055, and this picture here is the high carbon steel, so it's very similar. Maybe it's very difficult to see because the zoom for this picture is different. So now he taken the basis for the steels and put on graphic. If you can now we can see the basis for this picture here. So we can see that the NUMPy steel without forging process, we have more perlite than the process with the fold forging. That we can see the process of the fold forging decarbonizing the structure, so he lost a few percent of carbon. It's the reason to the NUMPy steel with fold forging, you have less perlite than the first one here. The highest perlite structure is the 1055 steel with fold forging. It's okay because he has more percent of carbon. it's interesting. And I think it's this. Now we have ferrite and martensite, so it's for the quenched process. This one here is only forged, and this one here is the quenched process. Okay. So the authors don't found no fully martensite mixture, but the highest percent of martensite is the 1055 steel, maybe because it have more perlite than the others and more carbon. So the martensite base fractions in NP steels where sample was higher than the in low carbon steels. So this one here, the NP steel was higher than the NP steel, the low carbon steel here. You may obtain more martensite structure. Okay, let me see. Now the next test is the hardness. It's HRC was performed by a sample using an indent force around 100 kilograms. It's the force used on this test. The hardness of a 1055 steel sample because the large carbon content. So this steel here obtained the highest hardness. And you can see the quenched process will be improve the hardness for the non-P steel for the without fold forging and with fold forging increase the hardness for the material. And the non-P steel without only forging, it's the lowest value for the hardness. The high amount of perlite and martensite basically lead to increased hardness of large and quenched sample respectively. And the 1055 steel is suited to be used to the sharp edge of sword. This utilized for this part of the sword because they have more hardness. Okay. I think it's this for this test. Now the authors realized the tensile test. So we could see on this picture here they only have three because the steel 1055 sample were so hard to spin occurring during the tensile test, and the fracture took place outside of the gun flame. So occurs this problem during the test. So he couldn't finish the test for this sample. But for this trio one here, the non-piece sample without forging exhibits not only the lower strength but the lower elongation. You could see this line here. The mixed 1010 steel and 1055 steel, we can obtain the highest ductility, and the non-piece steel with fold forging, we obtain the highest tensile stress. All the samples reached fracture in the region that more breed high carbon steel. How the authors don't get the results for the ACE 1055, they are utilized mathematically to obtain the maximum tensile stress for the ACE 1055 with fold forging. The values that they obtain is the highest value for all the steels here. He take the Tamahagani steels for make a comparison with the others, because this steel here it's utilizing for a sword edge for samurai's swords. So I think it's this. The reason for the ACE 1055 obtaining the maximum tensile stress is it's in according with hardness value and martensite base fraction. So now we have the results and discussion for the three bending test. The values were average for three repeat samples, and now we can see on the graphic that The NumPy steel without forging process and the 1055 steel with full forging is very similar. It's the lowest flexural stress and the lowest flexural strain. These two tests here. And the NumPy steel with full forging process, we obtain the highest value of flexural strain and the highest flexural stress we obtain for the mixing test, the mixing steel. The reason for the NumPy steel without forging it's the lowest is because the mixture was inhomogeneous and some large inclusion. It's the reason that the authors put on the article. Um, So we could see that the process fold forging increased a lot of the flexural strain that the structure have. This one here, it's the lumpy without the process, and this is the stain that they obtain with the authors obtain with the process. We only multiply by around six times to flexural strain. So I think is that for this test. This test here, it's the same, but he take for the bibliographic, I don't know, the bibliographic, the values for the flexor modes, okay? So he put on the graphic. The results for the bending test will are correlationship with those from the tensile test. So this test here have a relation with the tensile test. The bending of the NumPy still could be increased by the folding process. So we could see that NumPy is still improving with the fold forging process, improve the max threshold stress. Two, the last slide I told that the improve the strain, but only improve the maximum flexural stress too. So he utilizing the mixing ductile steel grade also considered provided by Einstein binding of sword, maybe because they have these results here for this test. The high carbon steel exhibit a high flexure modulus values than the NumPy steel. So we could see that the max flexure stress for the NumPy steel is highest to the 1055, but the flexure mode is highest for the high carbon steel. Maybe the flexure mode is not only the only property that influence it, that provide a max flexure stress. So this property here is not the only property that increase the maximum flexure stress. Okay, you have others properties that provide for the material a maximum flexure stress. This property here have a relationship, but it's not the only. Now he take the results for the impact energy. He utilizing a Sharpe test for this, and he utilizing the same condition for all condition tests. Okay, the NumPy steel without folding forging process and the 1055 steel, they obtained the lowest impact energy that we could see on the graphic. We have obtained 7 for the without forging and 4 for the fold forging. And for the NumPy steel with fold forging process and 1055 and 1010 steel, they are obtaining the highest values. Okay. And now the conclusions for the article. The fold forging process leads to NumPy steel with more homogeneous and fine mixture. We could see this on the pictures that I explanation after for the microextruder, that this process improved and made the structure more homogeneous and finer. The fold forging process improve the tensile stress, the flexural stress, the flexural strain, and the impact energy of the NumPy steel. We could see this in all this graphic that I told you before. Okay. For the steel mixing, the method with more ductility, the method improve the ductility for the steel and improve the height stretch for the steel too. Only obtain an improve for the bending and impact energy for the mixing steel. The tensile stretch for the Tamahagani steel of Samurai could be archived by the applying the full diffusion process of the NUMP steel. We could see this in the results of the tensile test that the this graphic here. Let me see this graphic here. That the Tamahagani steel maximum tensile stress is next to the NUMP with full diffusion process. So for the conclusion for the articles is that thanks for your attention. This is my email to contact, and this is the reference that I utilize to producing the slides. Okay, so let me appears again. Thanks for watching my presentation, and if you have some question, you can send me an email or something like that. I think is that. Goodbye.